Hello everybody and welcome back once again to Super Metroid Exercise. And in the last video we left off on, I got the Morph Ball bombs, which I promptly discovered this wall is not bombable. But with the bombs, you remember there was the place in Brinstar where I can now go and get that taken care of. Well, get that taken care of. Go explore that way anyway. And I never actually went down here before for some reason. Although there really isn't anything I can do here anyway, so I didn't really need to go here. So yes, one of the interesting things that people sometimes do, which is kind of neat, is they change the power bombs, speed boost blocks, whatever. Change them so that instead of just dull gray things, they actually have some color to them, so that's neat to see sometimes. It's nothing really big, but it's still nice to take the time to do a little touch like that. Even though a lot of the hack probably could have used from a bit less overall being worked with these tiles. But anyway. Yes, I decided to make sure these power bombs, except I went back down to the door, but I decided to make sure I can't reach these power bombs, because you never know. It is actually a possibility. Not very likely, but it is a possibility. And then over here, as you would expect with this wall, it is speed booster blocks, so we can't do anything with that. So yeah, to this point still, I was still kind of iffy on this hack. And I was for a little while longer still. I really had no idea what to expect from it. And it hasn't turned out, oh my goodness, it hasn't turned out, I guess, like I would expect it to have been, but it still wasn't like super impressive or anything, but it gets better. And I actually think that's something a lot of hacks kind of do the opposite in. They end up starting really good and really interesting, and then later on you lose interest in it. Like it bogs down toward the end. Like, I would say Phase On Hack 0.3 does that. And it's not so much the gear hunt. That I don't mind at all. I like those kind of things. Hunt for the gears wasn't the big issue for me with that. It was the actual ending area. It was in that pirate ship. It might have been a bit too big, a bit too long. What really was annoying and just kind of slow and whatever was all the pirates you had to destroy. And because there were Metroids in there too, you had to take Ice Beam. Or turn Ice Beam on, which made your beam exponentially weaker in the hack, so that whole final area in Phase On, that kind of bogged it down. Oh yes, and I can get back here finally. And Super Zero Mission kind of did the same thing. It kind of bogged down a little bit at the end too. And I'm sure a lot of people had the same complaint with redesign because terrain was just going to massacre people. Because that was not a very friendly terrain, and on top of that, the escape on there, so. But anyway, this hack kind of bucks that trend. I guess it's not really a trend, it's just some hacks seem to have that issue. This hack, I felt, got much better the more I played it, so. Definitely like that. And I think this is where I figured out the pseudo screw attack is actually really powerful because it just destroys everything. Especially these tough early enemies. So once you get charge beam, use pseudo screw attack a lot. It is very effective on these guys. And because I opened the door earlier, it's open now, otherwise it still would have been locked. And so down here was the bomb block, and actually there was a couple bomb blocks. Which I think I just realized when I was down here. I was like, oh yeah, there was something on top where the spikes were. And I don't need no grappling beam to cross spikes. So I try this way. Fail at it. And there's spin jump restart, but there's a crumble block in the way, so you actually have to go up top for the spikes, which you don't have to, but more missiles. Especially being, it is another missile pack, by the way. Spoilers. Oops. Yeah. One more missile pack. Overall, may not seem like much, but it's when it's your second missile pack, and you don't actually collect a whole bunch of items throughout the hack. Or at least I didn't. Every little missile pack comes in handy for bosses and whatnot. Oh hooray, more missiles. More interesting shot pop graphics. Or explosion crumbly graphics, I guess. So this room, this is kind of what I mean by, in some cases it's very half-hacky. You could clearly tell what that room was. Now this one actually is a bit different, but it's still probably the same room that connected to it. I could be wrong about that. But, oh my goodness, phone high. I will remember to shut you off next time, yes. Or at least, not shut you off, but anyway. So there's a dot on the map here, and I just missed something right now. There's a very obvious CRE block on the floor that I don't get right now. It's staring at me in the face and I don't get it. But because of that, because I didn't find it, I ended up finding this, which I probably wouldn't have found otherwise. I was like, that has to be the item, right? It's like, nope. So I'm like, well, what? Because I thought, I ended up thinking that the item dot was actually leading me to look for a secret to head up here, but it's actually an item down there. I just have a hard time believing it because I didn't fall in the right spot. Or even notice the obvious CRE block. But you will want to grab that. It's one of the energy tanks I actually ended up collecting. Which means after I get that block, that's half the energy tanks I collect this entire hack. So yeah. You see, pseudo screw attack works much better on those things. But there is yet another missile up here, so you probably do good to collect this. Unless you're doing a TAS or speedrun or something of this hack. In which case, this might be too far all the way. And those are kind of interesting. I've actually been thinking about trying to do one myself of something small. To a TAS, because they're pretty interesting. There's a lot of work that goes in before you even start your run. Because you have to plan your route. And then there's a lot of work after you start your run because you have to make sure everything's optimized. I was stupid. It's like, oh, is this nom plant real? Well, yes. That answered that question. But yeah, there's a whole lot to do after you start the run in the TAS too, because you got to make sure everything's optimized. If you need this many missiles by this point, you need this much energy so you don't go, so you can go full speed through certain rooms. It's faster to pick up energy or missiles in this room compared to this room's. So it's a whole lot of work that goes into those. Of course, the really good ones come out really impressive too. So this room actually has something we'll get to later, but that, I forget what it's called. The little guy spitting flames at me. Because I can't go past the blue pillar on the left. I don't think I can go back there at all. I think this is blocked off. So that little spitty guy down there is blocking off the path. Over there. So it makes me get supers to destroy that thing. I think power bombs destroy it too. But it makes me get those before I can go on that path. So that's a different way of requiring... I mean, it's the same thing as putting a super missile or power bomb door cap on something, but it's a bit different than that, so that's kind of interesting. And this elevator takes us back up to none other than Criteria. I was kind of expecting a door on the left there, but that didn't happen. And these guys right now will absolutely destroy you. Take a whole energy tank of damage, and you need grapple beam to go down there. So I was like, It's like, what else is up in this interesting area? Other than more death-dealing Metroids and fast crabs, and also hurt a whole lot. Well, if you remember the landing site, that's a power bomb door cap on the other side of the door, so there's really no point to being up here right now, so don't bother. But again, the exploration so far it's not too bad. And the Metroids are really deadly, but again, I had plenty of opportunity to get out there and survive, so not really a huge deal. Besides, there's nothing wrong with blocking areas you're not supposed to be in yet with tougher enemies. Kind of gives the player the hint they need to go elsewhere. So there's actually not too much I can really do in Brinstar yet. It's kind of interesting. I think I may have sequence broke a little when I played this hack in terms of which bosses I fought, but I think it's open enough to allow that, so it could do either way. What I ended up doing, or do a different boss before that. So, yeah, we can't go that way. So basically over there was absolutely nothing for us. I just went sightseeing. And I still don't notice the CRE block on the floor. Yeah, I don't know. I just missed it. But I check everywhere else, of course. I missed that one thing, and then I check everywhere else. And this is one of a couple rooms, 2, maybe 3 rooms that are sort of like this. Where there's a locked door at the end, and you have to find all the enemies in that room, destroy them all so the door opens up. Or it's one of the things I can come up with the door like this, and hidden enemies is like, oh well, I guess I have to go defeat a mini-boss or a boss in this area. Not always the case. Yeah, there's a little crack spot on the floor there. And I somehow managed to hit a googly eye or something down there. And that opened up that door. So now we're just on the inner side of where that super missile block was. It's kind of interesting. So just a little bit out of the way, but again, means when you collect items later on, you can go through places faster. And I still love there's no message boxes on those things. Just get filled up, and then you're on your way. No messages. And these little leech guys, they're very interesting looking. And there really, I don't think there's anything else up in here. These little thingamajigers, respawn, so be prepared for that. They will keep coming. They also make weird noises. And I don't think I ever found something up there besides like crumble blocks up above. One pipe that spits these guys out, and I don't think I ever actually found that. The top part of it, how to get there. So you just get through this way anyway. And then more stuff impeding progress. And this is also kind of what still kept me bogged down on the hack. Was stuff like this where it's kind of needless stuff impeding your path. I mean, sometimes getting through rooms doesn't have to be a chore or go through these little morph passages or whatever. Sometimes you can just have open rooms, let the player be able to walk around and explore. And this room, I try to go up here, but I don't have high jump. You can gain height without high jump underwater wall jumping, and because it's only one block wide, it's not that hard. But high jump makes it much easier. So I think without it, you only gain 1 pixel at most per wall jump. And I think with high jump you get 2, maybe it's 3. Basically, you definitely get more height. It's much easier. So into wonderful Norfair, and even more tiles. And high jump is just taunting me right there. I'm obviously supposed to have grapple beam. But I go here anyway because I'm that brilliant. And it's another missile. And there's a decor up there for some reason. Why he put that up there, I don't know, but it's interesting. And he put the Etacoons in the one room, so might as well have decors frying in lava. Anyway, I am going to touch on it more in the next video, because this one's almost finished, but this hack actually does something very few other hacks do right, and that is purple bubbles. This is no Golden Dawn with hideous puke purple. These are actual good purple bubbles, so I have to congratulate the person who made this hack on that, because it seems to be a challenge for a lot of people to do that. And over here we have a save, and this is where I end up leaving it off, so thanks for watching. And in the next video we will get more into Norfair and those wonderful little purple bubbles, so we will see you for that.